Okay. Okay. Hi, everybody. So I can't believe this is Macro Monday 17 already. And there's still so much to discuss and talk about. I can't believe how much. Every time I prepare for one of these lectures, I have to pare it back. A couple of announcements. One, the Macro Polo Tour is August 25th to September 3rd. If you're interested in attending, even though it's late, I don't think airfare has gotten any higher, and we can still find you accommodation. So let me know if you're interested. It's going to be macrobiotic food prepared by Omar and me, and we'll be doing day trips throughout, Venice and surrounding area. So it'll be fun and it'll be low key. Hi, Karen. Hi, Brian. I want to discuss a few things tonight. We're going to talk about liver and gallbladder meridian. And I just wanted to remind you, though, of the habits that are really important in sustaining a macrobiotic practice. So I have a list here. You can enlarge the writing by pressing, there's a little plus sign at the bottom of your screen. And so I don't know if this is bigger when I press the plus, but I think you can press, make it bigger on your own screen. Okay. So, so remember, meals at regular times is really important to maintain um, a healthy metabolism and to make sure that your hormones and everything are working properly and to help with blood sugar disorders. So meals at regular times means breakfast between mm, earlier, but between 7 to 8 o'clock in the morning, lunchtime 11:30 to 1 at the very latest, and dinner between 5 and 7 at the very latest. The earlier the better, in my view. And no eating food 3 hours before bedtime so that your body gets an opportunity to heal during the night. Doing the body scrub every day, and you can look at you can go to Macro Monday 5 on the website if you missed these lectures. Walking a walk outside every day in nature, not at the mall, but outdoors, so that you're breathing oxygen. Preferably if you have a park nearby, or like in the country is excellent. But still, just walking outside, it resets you and it releases stress. Doing, the gentle tapping on your meridians and the meridian stretch. And that's in Macro Monday 5. You can look at that, the meridian stretch. Very simple exercise that's very powerful. Also, remember to be prepared by having soaking beans and grains every night or almost every night, or alternating between soaking grains and beans because they'll last for a couple of days each. And always having prepared food in your refrigerator. And we've discussed this at length in more depth in other webinars. And also, really important is to eat organic as much as possible. When I started macrobiotics, the organic products were few and far between. And so, but now you can get almost everything organic. Maybe watercress or um, the odd item can't find that's organic. But it's really important to eat organic, obviously for yourself, so you're not getting extra pesticides and herbicides and things like that. But also, it's really important to support our organic farmers because if we're buying organic, our dollars speak, and we're promoting local, indigenous um, vegetables and grains and beans. And by doing that, maybe we can crowd out the commercial growers. And in time, hopefully, organic products will be subsidized and be, less. They're already less expensive, but if we keep purchasing organic, prices will definitely go down. Also, be aware of nature and your surroundings, inside and outside. You know, Keeping it natural inside the house, making sure you don't have melamine and plastic substances and synthetic clothing and so on that give off um, chemicals and particles that we inhale and we ingest through our skin. Um, and also outside your house, don't spray pesticides, herbicides, fertilizers. I live on a street where everybody's lawns are impeccable except for mine. But you know what? After what I'm going to discuss next, I'm really proud of my garden. There's goldenrod, there's hydrangeas, there's coneflowers. It's a bit of a mess out there because it's very hard to keep perennials controlled. And up until this year, I had a nice variety of butterflies and bees and so on. And I'm going to discuss that a little further. I did a little bit of landscaping. I got rid of some shrubs in the backyard. And now I'm thinking I'm just going to let the part of that's my garden, I'm just going to let it grow wild. And I think that's really important. There's very few wild spaces in parks and in nature and on the sides of the streets. So I think it's incumbent on us if we've got a little bit of lawn to keep it wild, so that we can take care of insects and small mammals. And we've destroyed their habitat. I think it's now time to give them back somewhere to live. Then the last thing, and we haven't discussed this in depth, but I will in subsequent webinars, decluttering your living space and storage areas. That's really important for, the way energy runs through your meridians, energy runs through your house. And if there's blockages, there's blockages, and that's not helpful for your health. Okay. Okay. So the thing I want to discuss before we start talking about liver gallbladder is that, and I guess I'm late to this, and you've already received my newsletter about the lack of bees in my backyard and in my front yard, and the butterflies. There's no butterflies, there's no bees, there's no grasshoppers. I saw one Japanese beetle. Um, I didn't. I was working in the garden for a good part of the weekend. I didn't get any mosquito bites. I didn't see any spiders. Um, Nothing. I saw a couple of snails. I saw one bee in the backyard, and then when I went to work in the front yard, there was a bee there, but I'm not sure that it wasn't the same bee. There's one white cabbage butterfly. I think there's only one in my whole neighborhood. I can't tell because they're not marked, but really, I only see one butterfly. So I've been reading a lot about it because I'm very disturbed about this and very upset. It's like I feel like I've taken insects for granted my whole life, and now they're gone. And like I'm really horrified and shocked that I've taken them for granted for so long. It's like losing your parents or something. It's like it's been a weird sensation for me. So I've been doing a little bit of research, and it appears that bees specifically had a very terrible winter, and so there was a big loss of bees because of the. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. But the winter was very long, and then it got cold again in the spring. It warmed up, and then the bees crawled out or wherever they live, and it got cold again very quickly. So it killed tons of bees. But that doesn't explain the grasshoppers, the lack of insects. There's no wasps. I've been eating out on the back deck, and usually at this time of year, we're busy swatting wasps and covering our food. No, it was just like eating in the dining room inside the house. So all this to say that we have to take care of our environment. We have to stop spraying things, Roundup, all that junk. Forget it, and let weeds grow so that our insects can come back. I hope it's nothing more nefarious than a cold winter, but it's just suspiciously awful. I feel like I'm living in a science fiction movie in the future. I watch a lot of science fiction too, so it's some kind of dystopic future. Not so, anyway. Okay. So I'd like your input. Lots of people emailed me today and told me about the situation in their neighborhood. And I got one email from somebody who said that north of Toronto at Steeles and 407 at their golf course, there's tons of bees and butterflies and insects. So that's encouraging, except I don't know why. There isn't any in Ottawa. There's none in Keswick. These are people I heard from. There's none in other areas throughout the city. So I'm happy to hear that we have some, you know, little little oases where everything hasn't been completely destroyed. But even walking in the park, there's no bugs in the grass. There's no grasshoppers jumping, even little grasshoppers. Okay, so I just wanted to bring your attention to that because it's very disturbing. And so if you can, I think you can purchase bees, you can purchase bee houses so that bees can winter over. I think we have to be more conscious of our fellow inhabitants of this planet. And we probably need like some kind of planetary activism happening. There's animal activism, but I think we need to figure out how we can speak up for the planet. And I wish I had the nerve to speak up to people that are spraying their driveways. They're spraying their driveways because there's like a piece of grass growing between, two an interlocking bricks. Okay, that's my rant for today. So next, we're going to talk about the liver meridian. So the liver meridian, let me just forward it because look at how good I am. Look, I actually was able to download a chart for the liver meridian. So the liver meridian is a yin meridian. It starts just between the big toe and the second toe on the foot, and then it goes up the leg on the inside, over the ankle, and up the inside of the leg, way up to the groin. Then it goes through the reproductive organs, through the liver, inside, and then comes out again through the eye and ends at the top of the head. Okay? So keep that in mind. And so it's a yin meridian. Yin meridians run upwards. Remember, Earth's energy is yin. So it enters through there and goes upwards. So that's yin. Okay, let's just go back. Okay, so the liver governs the smooth flow of qi or energy and blood in the body. It's paired with the gallbladder meridian. It's the more yin of the two meridians. It controls the volume and the flow of blood in the vessels, and it also stores blood. It's important for nourishment and for detoxification. And I've already explained how it runs. The eyes and the liver are related. So, if you have a hangover, alcohol really affects the liver. If you have a hangover and you have blurred vision in the morning, that's as a result of the liver. It's not it's your eyes, obviously, but it's the liver that's causing that. And your eyes and your liver are connected. You don't always see the same way. When your eyesight is more clear, means that your liver function is better. It also shows the liver condition shows in the condition of your fingernails and your toenails. So if you've got fungus, splitting, cracking, discolorations, all that kind of stuff, give your liver a big break. Tendons are the tissues associated with the liver, and strength comes from the tendons, not from the muscles. So cows have great big muscles, but they're not very strong, whereas cats have like few muscles and strong tendons. So it's related to the tendons. Also, menstruation, reproductive disorders, or reproduction generally is governed by the liver. And the liver, we talked about it last week, and I drew that beautiful chart. The sour taste is associated with the liver. So high quality vinegars, include them in your diet, like brown rice vinegar, apple cider vinegar, light lemon taste, squirts of lemon here and there. Remember to include them. Now, another way of diagnosing a liver imbalance is anger. So anger is the emotion that's associated with the liver that's not balanced. Let me just see. Oh, Susan, sorry, I digress. Susan wrote a note saying that she's been seeing lots and lots of bees and gorgeous different kinds of butterflies. Thank you. Leaf litter undisturbed and dead wood makes great winter homes for bugs. Yes, I have tons of that in my yard and no bugs. Don't cut your dead plants from the summer until the next spring. After they have been 2 days over 50 degrees, this allows bugs a safe place to overwinter. Yep, don't do that either. Okay, so thank you for that. Lots of butterflies in Keswick. Oh, Carmen, somebody else told me not. Okay, fabulous. Okay. Okay, that makes me feel a lot better actually, knowing that there are butterflies around. So it's just some kind of devastation in my neighborhood. Okay, so anger. So rage, of course, is the extreme, insane version of that. Frustration, like frustration, like deep frustration, irritability, and stress, or not being able to let things go. That's congestion in the liver or tightness in the liver. So even allowing yourself to experience these emotions damages the liver. So it's like a chicken and egg thing. It's an expression of a problem with the liver, but also having those emotions damages the liver. So that's really important to, if you have emotional issues like deep-seated anger over, it's a good idea to deal with those on an emotional level as well as a dietary level. So when the liver is balanced, it displays a, kindness and generosity. Okay, so how do we take care of the liver? So the liver is damaged by heavy animal food and fried greasy things. So eggs, meat, poultry, the usual dairy foods, especially hard cheeses, drugs and alcohol, because the liver is a detoxifier. So drugs, any kind of drugs, street drugs, um, prescription drugs, doesn't really matter. They accumulate in the liver, and the liver can only detoxify to a certain point, right? Then it just becomes clogged and everything backs up, and people get fatty livers, right, from that, from not being able to, the liver can't detoxify anymore. Processed food obviously has deleterious effects on the liver. So, um, I was going to say something else, but it escaped me about. So one good thing to do is to slap yourself on the top of the foot where the liver meridian we saw. You can slap yourself for 5 minutes in the morning, starting here, or press, with your thumb on both legs because the meridians are on both sides of the body, right? And both feet rather. So you can press here in the channel between the big toe and the second toe, and then slap on the inside of the leg, up the ankle, up the calf, up the inside, and that for 5 minutes in the morning, and that will help to detoxify your liver. So that's one exercise you can do. Also, for the liver, um, gentle exercise is best. So because the liver governs the tendons, when you exercise too strenuously, the tendons become tight, and then you become rigid, which is like the opposite of what you should be like. For the healthy liver connotes flexibility, right? So rigidity means tightness. And I can attest to that because I did that. I did very strenuous exercise. It felt wonderful until my joints started being too tight. So I was, I could exercise really great in my class, but I couldn't walk to the car after or walk up the stairs. So that was dumb. So just be aware of that, right? Tightness is not good, and sometimes we push ourselves, and so we don't want, we want to be free of that stressed feeling, that pushing feeling. That's a congested liver too. That makes you want to. You're kind of trying to detoxify by pushing yourself too hard. Okay, so rub the top of the foot, rub the inside of the big toe, and the area on top of the foot, it may be quite sore, but that's okay. That means you're hitting the right spots. Okay, so don't be afraid of it. Acupuncture is good too, right? A shiatsu treatment is good too for these kinds of problems. Okay, next. Okay, that's the liver. Um, there was something I was going to say about the liver. It'll come to me. Eating late at night, just like with the gallbladder, is very damaging to the liver because it doesn't get a chance to be free of digestion, right? When the body doesn't have to digest it, it's a little bit hungry, it actually cleans old stuff out. Okay, the gallbladder meridian, my favorite. So the gallbladder meridian is the sister meridian or brother meridian to the liver meridian. It's the yang meridian. And let me see if I can make this bigger. So you see here on the head, it starts on the side of the eye. That's gallbladder 1. So the meridian starts at the top and runs to the bottom. That's why we know it's the yang meridian. Also, the gallbladder is really small and compact, and the liver is big. Okay, the gallbladder produces bile, so we can digest fats. The gallbladder often gets stones in it, right? Stones are caused by calcium, too much animal food, too much dairy food, and stones can be dissolved by eating a really good diet, taking some remedies. It'll take some period of time, but they can be dissolved. Okay, so it starts on the outside of the eye. It goes around the head, like over the ear, like this, and then it comes back up again. I'm not sure which way it goes. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, there's two parallel lines that run on the side of the head around the ear, and then down the neck, over the shoulder, and then down, basically down the side of the body. So, see down the side of the body, to the waist, through the hips, and then down, straight down, and it exits through the fourth toe. So the gallbladder meridian is responsible for gallbladder headaches. And the gallbladder also doesn't like stress. It doesn't like buildings, office buildings, modern buildings with no air circulation in them. It doesn't like that tight, compacted feeling. So migraines are caused often by tightness in the gallbladder meridian. And then something short of migraine, but you know the headaches that you get that are like a vice-like grip around your head, like on the sides of your head and your neck, those are gallbladder headaches. Okay. You can also get pain, hip pain, pain up the sides of your body, on the sides of your legs. That's gallbladder. Um, so lack of freshness contributes to tightness in the gallbladder meridian, just sort of modern life in general. And even if you're eating a macrobiotic diet and eating fairly well, it's something that will afflict you from time to time. And in one of our classes, remember we took My Remedy gallbladder soup for helping that kind of tightness in the gallbladder. Um, the 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 causes of the tightness in the gallbladder, apart from external causes like external stress, like lack of circulation, lack of air, um, always staying like working at a desk all day long with your hunched over, that kind of thing, that can lead to tightness in the gallbladder. Um, Hip problems are gallbladder problems as well, and so are knee problems when they're on the side of the knee. Often, if you press just below the hips, let's see if I can go up here. Oh, what happened? Make it smaller. So right in here, you see, the gallbladder meridian is in here. That's a point that gets really sore. That's gallbladder, right? Like problems with the hips, that tightness in the hips, and the hips become so tight that then the cartilage and the cushioning between the bones starts to get so tight, and it starts to wear away, right? And then hip replacement. So you have to deal with the gallbladder meridian. So to improve gallbladder health, and this, it takes a while, even if you're macrobiotic, because this was a big problem for me. I used to get those tight headaches, and I would get very tight. My neck would get tight, my shoulders would get tight. So the shoulders are not only gallbladder, but they're also the intestines. So you need to reduce salt. So you have to watch for soy sauce. Are you putting soy sauce on things at the table? That's a big no-no. Never have soy sauce at the table. Like in Japanese or Chinese restaurants, that's too much sodium. And also when you're having raw salt like that, as opposed to, putting a few drops of soy sauce on a dish and then continue cooking it for a little bit, it's too raw and it has a bigger effect on you. So take the soy sauce or tamari off the table. You don't use that as a condiment. Never use salt at the table either. Salt has to be cooked in food. That's why gomasio or sesame salt, the salt is roasted first. I wouldn't even recommend gomasio. I would just recommend lightly toasted sesame seeds ground up instead of gomasio because it's too much salt for most of us, except for specific conditions. But for general people that are in good health that are too tight, yeah, just do sesame seeds instead of sesame salt. Then baked flour products, which is something that when you make the transition to a macrobiotic diet, you sometimes feel that you're not getting enough substance or enough, you're not feeling full. So we tend to go to whole wheat products like whole wheat bread, peanut butter sandwiches to get that sense of satisfaction. That's a transitional thing. So just be really careful. If you're going to eat bread, steam your bread. Make it a really special occasion when you eat bread. Don't eat bread just because you don't have anything else to eat. It's so easy. It's so easy to eat half a baguette, right, on your way home from work. But try to avoid that. So baked flour products, including potato chips, corn chips, they're salty and they're dry. Um, Pretzels, even cookies, even cake sometimes. So keep that very limited. Like try to be very conscious of it because it's something, baked flour products is something that we do, like a bagel. And baked flour products also send your blood sugar up, which is why it's very hard to pass it up, right? They're not going for it. Eating late at night is also damaging to the liver, to the gallbladder and the liver. They're the same paired organs. Coffee is damaging to the gallbladder, and alcohol, of course, just like for the liver. So, for the gallbladder and the liver, lots of um, quickly cooked leafy greens. So blanched, napa, Chinese cabbage, bok choy, the lighter greens. Um, Make sure you have spring onions in your miso soup, finely chopped, parsley, all those nice, fresh, open green things. Too much fried food also damages the gallbladder, obviously. And if you have gallstones, you'll know that if you have something fried, it'll really inflame the gallbladder and create an attack. So be careful of that. And also slightly sour taste, and make sure you include that, like vinegars, um, lemon. Can't think of anything else right now. Reduce your stress. Now, stress is interesting because stress happens internally. So the way you handle stress is very dependent on your condition. But if your condition tends towards tightness, make room for relaxation. See, when we're tight, we don't want to relax. It's a bit of a oxymoron, but it's hard to go out in nature when you're stressed because you just sit there and you're kind of enjoying your miserable, stressed out self, right? But sometimes when you have like this gallbladder headache or you've got that tightness in your head, the best thing for you to do is just clear your calendar and stay at home, stay in bed, like just lie down for a day or just go out in nature and lie down in the park or something. You have to make time for that. It's really, really important, just like you make time for everything else. And add freshness wherever you can, right? Open windows, lighter cooking, um, choose a salad over a toasted bagel, that kind of thing. Okay, so this is obviously again the Coles Notes version of the liver gallbladder meridians. I mean, as you can see, there's lots of points, and they have different effects on different parts of the body. The gallbladder also is related to the eyes. The gallbladder also is responsible for dizziness, for ringing in the ears, right? Those meridians are all around the ear, so tightness there will create ringing in the ears. So any kind of doing, tapping, or slapping along the gallbladder meridian is really helpful. Oftentimes, just below on the tops of the thighs, over here, right along here, especially when women are menstruating, it becomes very, very tender. And so massaging in there is really good to relieve the gallbladder. Get shiatsu, get body work done. That's also really helpful. Okay, let's see, two more people. What about blue color in the fingernails? Oh, blue color in the fingernails, that's stagnation. Why would you have blue color in the fingernails unless it's really cold out? They should be kind of pink. Is this a new thing? Yeah, yeah. And also, yeah, as you get older, thanks, Carmen. As we get older, it's important to have less salt because we're already contracting. We're already like drying out and contracting. So having salt and alcohol and too much strong food is not helpful, right? We're already shrinking and drying up. So more moisture and more light cooking. And the blueness in the nails, I don't know. Is this something? I have a client who has blue in her fingers, on the toenails. Um, that's a circulation problem. Also, Raynaud's disease. It's an autoimmune disease. People get, I don't know, I think it's a circulation problem too. Um, their blood doesn't circulate quickly and they get blue fingers, blue fingernails. I don't know if that's it, but it certainly shows stagnation and lack of oxygen. And it can be changed. Of course, you have to convince her. I heard a good one today. Um, I'll tell you this after I finish this recording. Okay, so any questions before I sign off or I stop recording? Oh, his hat, and also Antonio, he has infectious colitis. Oh, there you go. So you know the answer. He has infectious colitis. Yeah. Okay, I'm glad that you find this helpful. Okay, I'm just going to turn off the recording. So, is there any other announcements that I wanted to make? Oh, culinary medicine level 1 is going to start the end of September. So you can look if you're interested, look on the website or give me a call. And next week I'm leaving for Italy. So I know there's a big time change. So I don't know what I'm going to do about Monday, Macro Monday. So I probably won't do it until I'll see. Maybe I'll have a special session of something or other live from Italy. If not, we'll be doing it in September again when I return. But feel free to email me with any questions or any comments. Okay.